So today's class is a winter balancing class. So one to practice when it's winter in your environment, winter kind of times when you're just feeling a little bit heavy, kapha mode, and you need a little bit of invigoration, but you also don't want to lose that sense of turning within. So in winter time, when we look at nature, it is really the darker season where the daylight is shorter and the night feels longer. And we just notice that it tends to have us feeling a little bit more withdrawn, but in a peaceful and calm kind of way. And moving from autumn, where there's a little bit more motion in the air with wind and leaves falling, transition happening, during winter, it is a little bit more stagnant. And that's why we do feel a little bit more calm and able to kind of crawl into a cave and have a bit of a kind of, joyful hibernation season. So it's definitely not a bad thing. It's really wonderfully rejuvenating. But if we allow that heaviness to accumulate or the moisture to accumulate, that's when we start to feel a little bit of winter blues. So it's just wonderful to have practices like our physical asana practice, physical yoga practices, to help us cultivate that awareness of those feelings, and also have some practical techniques to help us shift those energies, and even on the physical level as well. And as always, I just feel like it's one of those things that on the mat is sometimes the place where you do that little kind of practice awareness, where you get to like really focus and tune out from everything else and turn internally and actually experience those feelings. Sometimes we can logically reason and see things happening, but when you go to your mat and you slow down and drop into that parasympathetic state, it is really an opportunity to really feel those experiences. I just ask if you can please mute, Jane. Feel those experiences and cultivate awareness of them, and also feel as if you can take control of them as well, and oh, there we go, and work to moderate how you're feeling. Opposites create balance. So similar to last week, like we're really just looking to warm our tissues in a cooler season, and to bring some, not just lubrication to the joints because of the coolness, but just to keep things moving and to keep that cell turnover happening rather than the stagnation. So the more we move, the more it triggers our metabolism and that turnover of cells, and it can really help to reduce feeling, just a little bit heavy in our body, or water accumulation, edema, and things like that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. It is going to be a little bit of a stimulating practice, but as always, it will have some grounding elements to it as well, so that we're not walking off the mat feeling high and frazzled. It will definitely be more motion and standing focus through the first half of the practice, and then we'll be down on the floor. So, okay, let's get into it. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, maybe that's Ches just there with the whoever's just joined us. Hello. All right, so sitting nice and comfortably, and moving the flesh away from your sitting bones. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Lifting into your spine and lift into the crown of your head. Soften into your face. And tuning in to the sensations in your body. And starting to already tune into your breath. Inhaling and exhaling, slowly starting to deepen your breath. Okay, and continuing a nice flow and depth with your breath. There's going to be an option to move into Kapalabhati breathing, where we pump through the belly. This is really nice and stimulating. And if that doesn't feel appropriate for you today, just carry on with deep, full yogic breathing. I'm going to come over onto my knees and sit on my heels for this one and lean forward a little into my hands. And just start to relax and soften through your belly, and know that the motion is to draw the belly in, pumping the belly in and out with your breath. So inhale, and as you exhale, pumping it in through the belly, and you'll create almost like a sniffing type exhalation and fast inhalation through your nose, riding out one cycle until it feels exhausted. Take a moment and then go again, and we'll aim to go for 3 cycles. So just going in your own time. And when you've finished your rounds of Kapalabhati, just returning to your regular breathing pattern. It's a really nice practice for stoking Agni as well. And our Agni is actually quite strong during winter, but we tend to dampen it with comfort foods and less activity. And so these kinds of techniques can be a really nice way to still support it. Let's just finish our breath techniques with 5 rounds of Goranga breathing, placing your hands wherever they feel comfortable, building into a nice deep breath. Exhale completely. We'll begin on the next round. Inhale. And say the sound. Goranga. 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 And return to your regular breathing pattern, bringing your palms together, turning within and setting an intention for your practice. And then we'll begin our asanas with some hip mobilizers. Taking your feet out in front, hip distance apart, and we'll go through a windscreen wiper series, taking your knees from side to side and trying to take your awareness right down into your hip joint and just feeling when you get to that point of resistance in your internal rotation as you take your legs across your body. And maybe play with gently pressing the knees down slightly, pressing the knees down slightly to the other side. And then come back to center. Step your feet mat width apart and do the same thing. And you'll notice, you'll feel that area of resistance in a slightly different spot. And now from here, sitting up straight, lower the right knee down, allowing your right hip to come up off the floor. So it's quite strong internal rotation. Don't force your knee down. And bring the knee back up and allowing the left hip to come up as you take the left knee down. Feeling that stretch through your hip. Come up one more time, but this time we're going to keep the right hip planted down as you lower the knee down, 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 until you feel you're going full range of motion. So as far as your knee comfortably goes. And lift up over to the other side, keeping that left hip bearing down as you bring the knee down. Good. And then inhale, lower the right knee down, bring the left foot into the right thigh, right knee down, left foot in, and go into a spinal twist, turning to look over your left shoulder. And try to keep the right hip pressing down as you reach over to the left knee. And inhale, lift up, back to center, over to the other side. Bearing down through that left hip. Left hand reaches for the right knee, turning to look over the right shoulder. And this was a really nice way to gently activate and invigorate our nervous system. Back to center, keeping your legs where they are. Walk your hands forward. So again, you'll feel it in through the hips, just taking it nice and easy as you walk your hands forward. Folding forward over your legs. Maybe starting to feel a bit of a stretch through your lower back area as well. Keep working the hips down. Inhale. And you might be able to just flop your legs straight over and fold forward. I'm just going to spin around for the view. Inhale, press up. Now take the right foot over to the outside of the left leg. Taking your time to come into half Lord of the Fishes. So, or Lord of the Fishes. This is not the half, this is the full. Matsyasana. So you may be feeling it in your hip because we've just worked into our hip area. So don't rush through that. Take your time to feel into those sensations. Ground down through the right hip and hook your left elbow around the right knee, and then begin to move into the twist. So you might be feeling it through the hips as well as that stretch and rotation through the spine. Feel free to take your elbow to the outside of your knee for a bit more depth in your twist. Soften into your belly, letting your hips be heavy against the floor. And rotate back to center. Either switch your legs over, or for you guys who know the twirl, place your hands behind you, lift up, rotating around to the other side. And now finding yourself in this position first, let's pay attention to our hips first. So feeling into any of those sensations, notice what happens when you draw your knee in and lift your lower back forward. And then from there, moving into the twist. Taking your time to deepen into the twist. Opening up through your palm, nice strong lines of energy through your fingers. And come back to center. Come over onto all fours. Drop your hips to your heels and walk your hands forward, stretching out through your spine and shoulders. Relax into your hips. And inhale, come up onto all fours. Stack your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. Spread your fingers and thumbs nice and wide, creating a nice neutral spine to begin. Press the floor away, make sure your shoulders are active. Reach back into your sitting bones. Then inhaling, tilt your pelvis forward and look forward. Exhaling, tuck the tailbone, drawing your chin in toward your chest, belly toward the spine. Inhale, look forward. Now just taking your time to move with your breath. Three more rounds. And start getting so in sync with your breath that it's as if your breath is guiding the movement of your body. One more time each way. And then we're going to add arms and legs. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. Raise the right arm up and the left leg back. And we're going to inhale, extend, reach, and exhale. Lift through your belly. Press the floor away and press your shin into the floor so you're nice and stable here. And then you're going to draw your elbow and your knee in toward each other. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Two more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Let's do the other side. For me, I'm like, oh, this is like if you were just getting, this is like the yoga version of a coming out of hibernation stretch. Exhale, moving with your breath. Inhale. Reaching into your fingertips. Reaching back into your toes. Inhale. When you've done 4, come back onto all fours. And drop your hips to your heels, forehead to the floor. Soften through your shoulders, relax. Just for a breath or two. And inhale. Come up to sit on your heels, take your hands forward and dive your chest forward. Inhaling straight into a little cobra. And exhale, lower down, warming up our spine before our sun salutations. Inhaling up, exhale down. Inhale. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, hold. Exhale. Bend your knees, tuck your toes. Lift back into downward dog with your legs bent. Check that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Press the floor away, lengthen into your spine, lift into your hips. Lift through your belly and begin to lift and lower your heels, alternating from side to side. And on your next inhale, raise your heels high, lift into the hips. And again, press the floor away. Exhale, lower your heels down toward the floor. Settle into downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then look between your hands and walk your feet forward. Warming up our forward folds. Inhale, fingertips to the floor, looking forward, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. So we do go through these repetitions. Inhale, look up, keep going. Exhale, fold forward. Each time before our sun salutes, because it just makes sun salutes a much nicer experience when your hamstrings are feeling a little bit more limber. So doing just a few dynamic rounds, 4 or 5 of these, right at the beginning of your practice can really make for a nice salute. One more time, inhale, exhale. And slowly roll up. Shoulders down away from your ears. All right, so make sure you're positioned at the front of your mat. We are going to go through 5 sun salutations today. Everyone goes, yes. No. If you get to 3 sun salutes and it feels like, hey, that's enough, you can start modifying them with some of the modifications we've explored, like going through child's pose, not feeling like you have to step backwards and forwards in the lunges. You can practice a couple of other poses during that time if you like, but the option is there to flow through 5 rounds if you like. All right, standing at the front of your mat, shoulders down away from your ears, turn your palms forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward, modifying by bending your knees if needed. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, jump or step back into plank. And lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, lift back into downward dog. Hold here for 3 breaths. Inhaling, raise your right leg. Exhale, step your foot forward, drop your back knee down, flatten your back foot. Inhale, reach up. Allow your hips to descend. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, lunging as you reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Look between your hands and jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale to heart center. Let's continue on. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back. Lower straight down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And really settling in for these 3 breaths, not trying to provoke sensation or anything in this time, just taking this space for yourself, indulging in the 3 breaths. On your next inhalation, raise the right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back knee to the floor, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale. Exhale. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Continue on, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Downward dog. And taking your time with your 3 breaths. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale. Step forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Hands to the floor, step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. And look between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Keep flowing, seeing if you can ride the breath. So the movement is just flowing with your breath. Trying to drop out of thinking too much now. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Jump a step back. Lower down. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. 3 delicious full breaths. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale. Exhale. Step back, lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Look between your hands and jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Hands to heart center. 1 more, let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back. Lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. And inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale. Exhale. Step back. Lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the floor. Step back. Lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Downward dog. Look between your hands and jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And now release Your hands down by your sides, turning your palms forward. Maybe step your feet hip distance apart so that you can take a moment. And feeling that beautiful rush of, actually not a rush, it's just a nice balanced, open, free flow of energy, circulation, and warmth. Now stepping our feet back together. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sweeping the arms down and through, coming into chair. Taking your arms forward first. So just to nice, easy shoulder height first, and working on our alignment and getting our foundations in place. And then we'll reach up. So from here, dropping down and going as far as your legs will allow. Scoop in through the belly, lift. Shoulders down away from the ears, but keep lifting through the spine, lifting into the crown of the head. And then float the arms up by the sides of your head, by your ears. I'm staying here for a few breaths. One of the wonderful things about winter energy is we do have a little more endurance than usual. And because we tend to hibernate more and consume kind of richer foods, it is really a time where we can expect more of our body, more strengthening, more capacity to hold poses, hold some of the more strengthening poses for longer. Inhale, reach up, a short break. Then exhale, lower down into chair, hands to heart center, and turn, bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Turning to look over the right shoulder. And keep lengthening down into your hips, press into your palms, and turn to look. Inhale, keep pressing the palms together, pressing into the floor, reach up. And exhale, over to the other side, right elbow to the outside of the left knee, reach down into your sitting bones, press into your palms, opening up through your chest as you turn to look over your shoulder. Excellent. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, feet are hip distance apart, fold forward. And bending your knees if you like, but we're going to just take a little cradled elbow, forward fold, sway. Just a little mini standing rest. Inhale, come back to center, roll up. All right, we're going to vinyasa down into some downward dog core movements, knee drivers. So if you do have shoulder issues, or if this is feeling too strong, you could go back into the warm-up sequence that we practiced with cat position, arm and leg reaching, and doing that as a modified version. Okay, inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, jump a step back into plank. Lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, lift back into downward dog. Settling into this pose first. This is going to be our foundation of this next sequence. So getting nice and comfortable in your downward dog. And inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale as you bring your knee down and in toward your belly and chest, taking your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale. Inhale. Nice strong Ujjayi breath too, as you exhale to drive the knee in. 2 more, inhale. Reach the leg back, float it down. We'll take a little vinyasa, and what we'll do is we'll have a little rest of our shoulders. So cobra to the floor. Lower down, knees to the floor. Come back through child's pose, rest your arms and shoulders just for a moment. And then inhale. Come up onto all fours, lift yourself back into downward dog. Settle in, get comfy. Really check that that foundation of your hands being very active against the floor is activated. Then inhale, raise your left leg up. Exhale, driving that knee down and in, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, ujjayi breathing. Inhale. One more. And exhale. Downward dog. Knees to the floor. Dive the chest down. Inhale. Cobra. Exhale. Knees to the floor. Big toes together. Knees wide apart. Stacking your hands on top of one another and forehead to the floor. Rest your shoulders. One more breath here. Walk your hands forward. Lift back, downward dog. And jumping your feet forward to meet your hands. If you like, you can take an inhale, open and lengthen. And then exhale, let's come back to our swaying forward fold. Soft bend through the knees for a more comforting version. Swaying one more on each side. And come back to center, slowly roll up. Okay. If you're hardcore, feel free to vinyasa between poses. But if you're like, no, I'll just step back, that's fine. Go ahead and you do you, okay? If you like to vinyasa between each pose, it definitely works, and feel free to go ahead and do so. Inhale, reaching up, exhale. Hands to heart center. Shift your weight to your left leg and reach the right foot back. Settling into high runner's lunge now. So setting up that foundation first of nice and grounded through the front foot and lengthen into your back heel. Shoulders stacked above your hips, navel drawing in, dropping down into that front leg as far as feels comfortable. Then inhale, float the arms up. Palms facing toward each other, shoulders down away from your ears. Soften through your face. And feel a gentle lift through your spine. Okay, so if you are vinyasaing, you can release hands to the floor and flow over to the next side. Otherwise, exhale, shift your weight forward, step forward. Weight transferal to the right foot now. Navel drawing in, reaching the left toes back. Pressing down into the front foot, lengthen into your back heel and lift through your spine, navel drawing in, scoop through the belly. Inhale, taking the arms up, shoulders down away from your ears, and see if you can drop down into your front leg. And staying with your breath. Ujjayi breathing throughout your practice today if you can. It's a nice warming breath. Great for wintry weather. All right, shift your weight forward. Come back to standing. Stepping the right leg back again, going straight into warrior two, aligning the heel of your front foot with the middle of your back foot. Bringing the back toes in slightly if it feels comfortable, and then drop down into that front leg. If you can, bringing that thigh perpendicular to the floor. Inhale, extending your arms out at shoulder height. Shoulders stay stacked above your hips. And when it starts to feel heavy in this front leg or challenging in this front leg, see if you can reach into your back foot more. See if you can lift this left rib out of the left hip to lighten that load on the front leg. And reverse. Opening up through your side body. And exhale. Spin the back foot around, stepping your foot forward, or vinyasing over to the other side. Step the left leg back. Align middle of your back foot. Middle of your back foot, the front of the front heel. That was a back to front. That was a really back to front cue. Okay, I'm a bit carb drunk. All right, so getting nice and aligned, shoulders above the hips, dropping down into that front thigh, and then taking the arms out at shoulder height. Turning to look for your front fingertips, and then as that starts to feel heavy through the front leg, where can you create lift? How can you transfer some of that weight through other areas of your body? Good. Reverse it. Nice big stretch here. And rotate the back foot forward. To stand. I'm going to shuffle back just for the video. You can stay at the front of your mat. We're going to now go into warrior 3. So this is a balancing pose. I really, really recommend taking your time to go through all the modifications to go into the pose, because you can really set yourself up well. If you just try and mimic the shape without the setup, it can be a really wily pose. But if you set it up well, you'll find that actually it's quite a liberating kind of an experience. So we're going to shift the weight to the left leg. And before I've even taken my right leg off the floor, firm the thigh, lift the kneecap, gripping down into the floor with your toes, heel pressing into the floor. Now taking the right toes back behind you, scoop in through your belly, activating your core, and squeeze your hips in toward each other. So already I can control my movement through the strength of my leg and my core. And then it's just a matter of levering that back leg up. I like to also start with a slightly bent leg. And that gives me a little bit more stability, a little bit more suspension here. And then press into your back heel, navel drawing in. Start by reaching back into your fingertips, shoulders down away from your ears. Press into the heel, and then slowly take your arms forward. Shoulders really press back. So your shoulders are set down your back, almost like downward dog style. Reaching into your fingertips, press back into your heel. And then start to slowly straighten your leg. Exhale, soften through the knee. Lower the arms, lower the toes. Step your foot forward. Give that right leg a little shake. Now let's do the same on the other side. Okay, starting with the setup. Okay, so foot first, knee, thigh engage, soft bend through the knee. Squeeze your buttocks, reaching your toes behind you. Squeeze your buttocks, navel drawing in, scoop through the belly. Squeeze, 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 and then start to float that leg up, pressing back into your heel, navel drawing in, reaching back into your fingertips first. And when you feel stable, if you feel stable enough to, you can keep them reaching back if you like, otherwise. And making sure that your hip is rolling down. Oh. Exhale. Release. Take out your legs. We're going to take a hanging forward fold, and then we're going to do one more standing balancing pose. Reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. And just already noticing how your body is feeling. It's been quite a heating and stimulating practice so far. Noticing if backs of your legs are feeling a little bit more open and limber. And maybe your mind is feeling a bit lighter and brighter. Soft bend through your knees, slowly roll up. All right, let's practice the dancer's pose now. So modifications for this pose, main recommendation I would have is to have a chair in front of you, something that you can lean forward into as you take your leg back. And also a belt is another option as well, which I'm going to, forgot to put it in my prop pile. So the option with the belt, I really enjoy the option with the belt because it helps me to keep my hips in alignment, because my hypermobile hips love to just take the easy route, but it's not actually the correct way of doing it. And it's, yes, a bit cheeky. So if you have a belt, go ahead and create a loop. So without the belt, just in case you don't have one, we're going to start going up through modifications first, as always. So stretching out through your hips, stretching out through your thighs. And then if you're not using the belt, you can go straight from here, holding your foot, to raising that leg up. Hip moves down, holding onto your ankle here, taking your arm forward or holding the back of a chair. Soft bend through your knee for a little bit of stability as you progress into the pose. And it might just look like this. You might be able to take your leg up further. With the belt, doing that same warm up first, stretching out through your quad. And if you're using your belt, taking your belt over your shoulder like so, and your foot is hooked. So you've got this extension to control your foot. So it's quite strong. It's quite strong on the back. So just really moving mindfully and being prepared that it's quite a strengthening variation or modification of this pose. So inhale. And what this does is it allows you to keep that hip working down as you take your leg back. So taking it up, up, up. And using your arms, it's really hard for me to see. Sorry to talk to you. I'll just keep talking. Raising the leg up, arms up. And then I just kind of prop my hold on top of my head. And you can slowly lift up. Exhale. If you've just tried it with the belt and you'd like to try it again without the belt, go ahead. So just fixing your gaze gently at a point in front of you. So I just want to show you the difference too. Like with the belt, when we taking that leg back into extension, if I have the belt properly, my leg just continues to go back and then it moves upwards into my back arch. Whereas if I don't use the belt, I can just splay my hip out to the side. And I can't even feel that. Like I can't feel any sensations in my hip there. And I don't feel it in my back either. So can't be trusted without the belts, this hip. All right, when you're ready, feel free to change sides. You might like to take a little counter pose in between. Soften down through your back. And then get ready to move on to the other side. I'm sweating here, just so you know. This winter class is having the effect I anticipated. I was hoping for. All right, we're going to go straight into the belt on this side, over the foot, slight flex through the foot to hook it on. This is also my unstable supporting leg. So I definitely notice, and you might too, that you have differences on each side. So that's why it's always so good to move into poses through the modifications. So you can move with awareness and build into the pose without rushing or projecting expectations on your body. Release. I'm going to do one more freestanding without the belt on this side. And from here, when you guys are finished, taking a little forward fold. And inhale, roll up. We'll do one last standing pose before we come down to the floor. So stepping your foot back, getting ready for a standing wide-legged forward fold. Outer edges of your feet are running with the edges of your mat. So big toes are slightly turned in. Hands to your hips, inhale, lift up. Exhale, folding forward. Scooping up and in through your belly, hands to the floor. And so take this as part of our counter pose from dancer's pose. So just allow your back to soften forward. And then really try to lift through your kneecaps and firm your thighs. Take hold of your ankles. We're only going to take this variation. So holding your ankles and just gently drawing your upper body forward. Holding this position for a few breaths. And one more full breath here. And release your hands to the floor. Soft bend through your knees. The hands to your hips. Stand up. Step to the front of your mat. And we're going to do a slow flow down to child's pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Take your time. And lower down. I'd suggest belly all the way to the floor. Flop your legs. And come up into a nice, easy cobra. Maybe wiggle your hips forward and hang into your shoulders a bit. Just let it be easy. Then knees to the floor, big toes together. Knees wide apart and thread your arms down and through. Turn your head to one side and soften. We're just having a little mini closure of our yang style standing poses now. And giving our body time to rest and assimilate some of the benefits of those standing poses. Turn your head to the other side. And come back to center. And sit on your heels for a moment. Turn your palms up. Shoulders down away from your ears. One more full breath. And come down to sit with your legs out in front. So we've done quite a lot of forward folds already, standing in the standing position. So just seeing how you go, you might feel nice and limber already. Folding forward, taking hold of your ankles, feet, or toes. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale. Folding forward, gently drawing against your point of contact, and scoop up and in through your belly and firm your thighs. And the more you firm through your thighs, the more it'll help release through your hamstrings. I'm going to stay here for 10 breaths, mainly just to see the magic. Not that we're sensation seeking or anything, not that we're expecting results, but if you stay here for 10 breaths, you might notice your body just allows for that little extra softening and surrendering, giving you that relaxation experience. And you can continue Ujjayi breathing if you like, or you can soften into full yogic breathing. Keep flexing your toes back toward you and pressing your heels away. Just a couple more breaths here. And I just had my drop-in moment there. It was actually right through my kind of sacrum and lower back area. I just went, doop. Inhale. Slowly come up. You can stay there a little longer if you like. Otherwise, coming up and bring the right foot in. Lift and lengthen, and then fold forward over your left leg. We'll stay here for 5 breaths and then change to the other side. So moving with your breath rate. I'm here to guide you, but really you can move throughout your practice as feels right for your body. Inhaling, come up. Change sides when you're ready. Lift and lengthen, folding forward, 5 full breaths. That's the first time. One more breath here. I really kind of forgot about the time while we were practicing, and it's an hour gone already. Inhale, lift up. Bring the soles of your feet together. Sitting up in a nice tall butterfly. And hook your first 2 fingers around your big toes so that you can really draw back against your toes. Lift your lower back forward. Press your knees down toward the floor. So you're quite active in this position. And from here, releasing that grip of the toes and situating your hands so that you can move into a butterfly twist. Starting to look over the left shoulder. Keep moving the knees down toward the floor. And other side. And come back to center. Folding forward over your legs. Starting with a passive folding forward. Then when you've reached capacity, hanging your body forward, walk your hands forward, gripping out into your fingertips, and drawing your upper body forward, knees pressing down to the floor. Keep pressing the soles of your feet together. And slowly come up. Bring your knees together for a moment and then take your legs out wide. Taking your time to take your legs out there. No strain, no pinches on the hips, on the legs, or the back. Lift up, walk your hands forward, swaying your way forward. And when you feel a nice stretch, taking your forearms to the floor or a bolster in front of you and folding forward. Staying here for 5 full breaths. So it's not too long, but really try to make the most of every breath. No rushing. Inhaling deeply, maybe retaining the breath. Exhale completely. Pausing at the end of the exhalation. And then when you feel the impulse to breathe in, inhale. One last full breath. Slowly release out of the pose. Press yourself up. Hands under the knees. And give your legs a little hug, dropping your forehead down to your knees. Slowly release. Coming down onto your back now, we're going to go from plow to fish and then over into happy baby. So if there are any props that you like to have for plow, make sure they're handy. You're going to lay back. So plow now is going into a bit of a wintry type pose. It's quite invigorating because it's an inversion, but it's also definitely a hibernation pose because you really go into a position where you don't really move when your legs come over your head as well. You know, some of your senses kind of get covered. It's a really nice turn within kind of a position. So really want you to just take your time now. Like this is our wind down time now. And we've done lots of stimulation, lots of invigorating and shaking off any excess winter. But now it's time to kind of tap into the beautiful qualities of winter and see what we find there when we go into that space. Just go in with curiosity and take your time. And don't be afraid to take it slow and drop in and draw away from now after all of that activity that we've had. Okay, so finding your way over into plow. Some people like to just kick your legs straight over. I'm a bit of a bridge and kick over type of girl, so find your way in. Take your time. Just going to move my mic. Hopefully you can still hear. So in plow, there's a few things you can look out for. So with your foundation, you're really trying to get a nice solid foundation with your shoulders. And that can be through interlocking your hands and rolling your shoulder blades together like we do in that variation of bridge. And that creates like a really nice structure for your hips to sit above of. And then ideally you're trying to lengthen and straighten through the spine and bring the hips above the shoulders, and your chest really moves in toward your chin. That's why I'm kind of hanging out in a weird position, because as soon as I go right into plow, it's like a funny, weird price check on prune juice kind of a voice. So what can happen is we settle in to hanging our hips over our upper body, but see if you can lift the lower back forward and lift the hips and create the lift from the shoulders right up into the hips. And then extend your legs over your head, toes actively reaching for the floor. So if you can't go straight legs, that's fine. Go bent legs, but you can still
really actively lift through your spine. So keep holding there for another 5 to 10 breaths. I'm just taking a break because instructing and hanging in that weird position. I just need to take a moment. But you keep holding there. I'm going to stop talking. Tuning into your breath again. We've done a lot of settling into our breath, indulging in the breath. And that's just one of the beautiful things of that winter energy. Indulging in the slowness, indulging in that time where you can just be. You can stay there for another few breaths, or you can make your way out of plow through shoulder stand or half shoulder stand, supported shoulder stand, just to ease your way out of this intense position. And slowly lowering down to the floor in Shavasana. Just letting all of your blood, all of your energy balance out through your body. And now going into a counter pose, fish pose, which is another strong pose in itself. Last strong pose for our practice. So starting with taking your hands underneath your buttocks, under your glutes, and straighten out through your legs. And flex your toes back toward you. Your legs are nice and active. You want to zip your legs together and then squeeze through your buttocks. Press your forearms into the floor. And you'll notice as you press your forearms into the floor, you can start to lift through your chest and your sternum. You just want to keep lifting and lifting and lifting until you can tilt your head back and maybe rest the crown of your head on the floor, or maybe just lifting strongly, pressing into your forearms, opening and expanding through your chest and collarbones, and taking your head back. Neck is nice and long and open, and contracting through the back of the neck. Slowly lower down. Release your hands, turning your palms up, feet naturally falling out to the side. And relax through your neck and shoulders. All right. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, navel drawing in, and tuck your knees in towards your chest. And take hold of your feet for happy baby. Lengthen your tailbone down toward the floor and begin to slide your knees down alongside your chest. Delicious, happy baby. Shoulders down away from your ears and soften into your face. Rock a little from side to side. From here, hold either the insides of your feet or your big toes and bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to go either into happy baby variation, bring the soles of the feet back together. But as you do so, when you come into happy baby, lengthen your tailbone down toward the floor. Full option is to, or the full pose. Another option, straddle your legs out to the side. So it might take a bit of warming up where you straddle them out to the side and it feels quite intense. But after doing a few rounds, moving with your breath, you might not notice that your legs start to, and your hips ease up a little. Keep hitting the wall, so I'm going to spin around. Seeing if you can tune into your breath too in a way where we're doing that same breath when we were in seated straddle, where you inhale, retain the breath as you hold your feet out. And exhale, drawing the feet back in. Hold. And when you feel the impulse to breathe in, move with your breath, retain the breath, draw down on your feet, lengthen your tailbone down. Exhale. Hold the breath out. One more time. Inhale. Draw in, hugging your knees into your chest, and make some circles with your knees. Softening into your hips. Circling them in the opposite direction. And come back to center. Feet to the floor. And just checking in with your body and seeing if there are any other stretches that your body is craving. Just honoring that for about a minute or so, and then we'll finish up with a spinal twist before coming into Shavasana. All right. For today's spinal twist, we're going to take one leg over the other. So right leg over the left, and then lower your legs over to the left side of your body. So your legs are hanging heavy, creating a twist through your spine. Turn to look over your right shoulder. Slowly come back to center. Change sides. And moving your legs over to the right side of your body now. Turning to look towards the left. Soften. Come back to center. Tuck your knees into your chest and then make yourself comfortable for Shavasana, Yoga Nidra. I'm going to let you guys get yourself comfortable. I forgot to bring my guitar in, so I'm just going to grab that. Be right back.
just noticing how your mind and body feel after your practice, and how that invigoration helps us to feel more peaceful and calm in those heavier, more grounding, still poses. Sometimes, due to the elements, doshas, or life stresses, we don't get to experience those beautiful qualities of each season. So mechanically engaging in practices like this and switching up our foods and our activities can really allow us to drop in to each season and enjoy the fruits that it has to offer. As I get older, definitely the cozy seasons are becoming my favorite. Now that I know how to manage the doshas and the elements and not let it all get too heavy. All right, so I'll take you through a guided relaxation now. So just relaxing each body part as I mention it. And anytime your mind wanders, no need to stress or criticize or judge yourself. Just bringing our naturally active mind back to my instructions, back to the sensations in your body. And taking your awareness all the way down to the soles of your feet. Relax from your toes down to your outer arches and inner arches. And feel your heels getting heavier and heavier. Relax your ankles. And feel your calf muscles to be soft. Your shin bones are getting heavier and heavier. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. And soften into your hips. Feel the sides of your body melting down toward the floor. And softening into your entire abdominal region. From your reproductive organs, through your digestive organs, your belly, right up into your lungs, your heart, and softening into your ribs and all the muscles in between each rib. Relax your collarbones. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists and hands. Become aware of the gentle prickling sensation of prana circulating your palms. And gently move your awareness to your lower back area. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and your neck. Feel all the muscles either side of your spine relaxing and releasing. Your head is getting heavier and heavier as it rests against the floor. Soften into your face and soften your jaw. Sometimes we unconsciously clench our jaw without realizing it's just really allowing your mouth and jaw to be soft, with your lips softly touching. Your entire body is heavy and relaxed. You feel safe and warm. Taking this time, your senses withdrawn from your external world. Observing the natural and autonomous workings of your body, sensations in your body. Shifting to observe the natural and ongoing activity of your mind without attaching to any thoughts, just simply noticing constant flow of mind stuff. And as you observe your body and mind in this way, contemplating the ancient wisdom of Aham Brahmasmi. I am not my body, I am not my mind. I am the silent witness, the observer, perceiver of the mind and body. I am spiritual in essence, an eternal spark of the supreme spiritual entity. And just taking a moment here to observe the power of being able to separate yourself from the physical responses and reactions of your body, and to be able to separate yourself and create space from your mind, knowing that you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not the reactions of your nervous system or the contents of your mind. You are an eternal spark of the Supreme Soul, existing in the temporary material body, covered by the subtle material mind. And now that we have cared for our mind and body through our asana and pranayama practice, it's time to care for ourselves spiritually with some mantra meditation.
which is like food for our food for the soul. Is a cute way of saying it. So if you'd like to just start coming out of Shavasana by wriggling your fingers and toes, rocking your head from side to side. Slowly making your way up to sitting. So we'll sing through that pranams, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, that you have on your mantra cards. And we'll end with the Maha Mantra. So I'll sing the mantra through once, and then it will be your turn to sing. And really don't have to try very hard, just allow the mantras to enter in through your ears, into your mind, and see if you can consciously bring them down into your heart, meditating them on them in this way. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Sira Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine. Your turn. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Mate Sira Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine. Vajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadeva Bhakta Vrinda. Your turn. Vajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadeva Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Last time all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Okay, and closing off our practice by bringing our palms together in prayer position. Bowing our heads to offer our respects to one another. And bowing our heads once more to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Nice to practice with you guys, as always. All right. I'm awake.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you. Thanks, Chates. Have a
Thanks, Sammy, Leah.
Thanks.
So nice.
Thanks, Leah.
Thanks. I was nearly asleep, you're right.